Hey everyone, thanks for joining up to day 2 of the bootcamp. Today we're going to be going over how to get set up with TradingView, which is the software we're going to use to place trades, plan out trades, study, and do pretty much everything. So without further hesitation, let's just get right into it. So here I am in TradingView, tradingview.com. And so we're pretty much just going to go right to the Get Started tab. You're going to sign up for free. In the future, personally, I have the premium plan, as it gives me other things that I use to take my trading to the next level. But to start, and honestly for a good while, especially if you're not trading with real money, the free version is all you need. So you're gonna sign up and I'll see you on the other side of that. Okay, so now guys, once you're here on this page, logged in with your account, Future Trading University, this is a makeshift account that I just made. So now we're gonna go to the Markets tab here and go to Entire World. And this is where we're gonna be able to access literally any asset in the entire world that's listed here. So here we can just type in Apple stock, for example, and it's going to take us to the data for Apple. So if you're new to a chart, the bottom here, or the x-axis, is going to be the time. The y-axis up here is going to show you the price of the asset. And if we go over to the top left corner here, we have this little button right here, right next to the stock here. And this is going to be the time frame. The time frame is essentially how zoomed in on the data are we looking? Are we looking at a grand scale, like the daily time frame, which I'll show you right here. The daily time frame shows us a more grand scheme of what's going on in this asset. Each candle, because each one of these pieces of data we call candlesticks. If you're on the daily time frame and this says a D, that means that each one of these represents a day worth of data. And in the next episode, we're gonna go over exactly what this data represents, how can we read it, and what are these candlesticks. But for now, all you need to know is that here's our chart, the price date is here, time is here, and we can change how zoomed in we are here. Extremely useful, because when we analyze charts, we want to analyze some of the highest time frames, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and when we have a connection between all of those, a signal going between all of them that we should buy, that's when we get in. We wait for confirmation on the daily, then we zoom in, for example, to the 4 hour, where each candle is a 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. And when you have all those time frames telling you the exact same thing, it's very probable you make money. That's how we're going to approach it. So the next thing I'm going to want you guys to do is to come down here where it says trading panel. If it's not already selected, select it, and you're going to hit paper trading. And so this is going to open a whole bunch of things. So it shows your account here, and essentially we just created a simulated account with $100,000 in it. Account balance here, your equity, which is essentially the account balance if you're in a trade. Realized P&L, that's how much profit you've made on the account. Unrealized P&L represents if you're in a trade, how much is your trade in profit. And the next thing I'm going to want you guys to do is to go down to the bottom left here. It's going to say positions, orders, history. Positions is just going to show you what trades you're currently in. Orders is something a little more complicated. If you do know sell limits, buy limits, and different types of orders, that's the next video. Those orders are going to be shown here. So now that we have a paper trading account set up, we can take real trades, but with fake money. And that is the absolute best thing you can do. Every single one of my students, including myself, has only seen success after having traded with fake money. It's the best way to do things. No, you are not going to make money in the first month of doing this. You have to practice with fake money before jumping in the deep end. So now we're just going to close this. We're going to use that for later. Next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to come up here, and we're going to see all these options, all these different shapes. What do they mean? Well, I'm not going to overcomplicate it for you. I'm going to make it extremely easy. Most people would stop here and just give you the chart. I'm going to make it a little more simple. So we're going to make a favorites list. So essentially what all these represent are your tools. Now you're going to see me in different videos drawing different shapes, drawing different lines on the screen. How do I do it? Well, I'm going to make it super easy for you. So the first thing you're going to do is come to this first one, cross, go a little to the right where it says more. You're going to go to cross and you're going to highlight that. Next, you're going to go down to the second one, line, trend line, favorite that. You're going to go down to the fourth one, forecasting and measurement tools, more, favorite long position, short position, and finally, one below that, the brush. You're going to favorite brush and rectangle right here. These tools will then pop up in a favorites tab here, which you can enable and disable in the bottom left corner here. I would just recommend always leaving it enabled. And essentially, these are 90% of the tools that I use every day. Maybe one day I'll use more, maybe one day I'll use less, but these are the fundamental things that we're going to use to do technical analysis. You can just select any one of these, draw a square, draw a rectangle, draw a line, short position here, long position here. Sounds good? One thing to note about the line that you guys are going to really want to know is that you can draw a line in whichever direction, and that's all useful, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to draw a straight horizontal line. And the way to do this is you're going to hold shift before you place it. So you're going to select it, hold shift, and then no matter where you move your cursor, it's going to be a horizontal line Extremely useful. Just kind of get in the habit of drawing these things, getting used to it. Let's go to the next section. Hey guys, so this is my chart. I'm just gonna put it up here just in case you guys wanna copy how mine looks. I personally think the original TradingView chart does not look any good. So what we're gonna do here is you can right click on any point in your canvas, go to settings. I'm just gonna let you guys screenshot my canvas settings here. My settings here for the symbols and also the candles. All right, so now that we have a nice looking chart, how are we gonna place our first trade? Good or bad? What we're gonna do is we're gonna head down to the trade button right here above our trading panel. Excuse my extremely negative paper trading account, by the way. When I trade on paper, I am completely trolling, so excuse me. We're gonna go to trade here. This is where we're gonna enter trades. A little menu is gonna pop up over here, and this is where you're gonna enter your positions. So in the top left here, it says NQH. That's the asset I'm trading. This is a futures contract for the NAS 100. I encourage you to look that up on Google, but it is the top 100 tech companies, and I'm trading a futures contract for it. Essentially, an asset that speculates the future price. Little complicated, but it's really not that complicated. For you, it might be Apple stock, whatever it is. We have the option to buy the asset or sell. Yes, you can make money if you sell. It's called short selling. But for example, if I just select buy here, we're gonna hit market order, which is the easiest because market order means you just get in instantly no matter what happens. And that's how I get into the market. So we're gonna select, for example, 1 unit. This would represent 1 share of a stock, for example. And then you have the option to include a stop loss and a take profit. A stop loss is a level at which if it hits it, you get out in a loss no matter what. Yes, you can move it, but we will never move our stop losses because we are disciplined traders and we will get out when we say we're gonna get out because we won't blow accounts. I used to blow accounts. I don't anymore because I have a stop loss. Next thing is a take profit. A take profit is where you are going to get out of the market if you are right. So take profit if you're right, stop loss if you're wrong. Both of these have to be included is if you are a profitable trader. If you don't have a stop loss, the market can go against you forever and you can lose all your money. If you don't have a take profit, where are you gonna get out of the market? You don't know when you're gonna sell. Is it if you're up $1,000, $10,000? You need to know this before you get into the trade. And so if you wanna take the trade, you can just press buy here and it will open a position here. Currently, I am unable to because the market is closed. But I encourage you to experiment, and since you're on a paper account, it does not matter. Do not worry about your paper account's balance. Mine is negative, so don't worry about it. And the next thing you're really gonna need to know about trading is just these top few options here. And so right here, you're gonna have an indicators tab. So we're gonna click on that. You won't have anything listed here, for example, but we're going to search as an example, the double EMA. I have it favorited. And so we can put this on the chart. So an indicator pretty much just takes the data as an input, does a math operation, and output something. And in this case, the double EMA represents kind of an average for the price, as you can see, an average here. But we're not gonna use that. What we're gonna use are things that are just going to help us do some analysis, not any math operations. So what we're gonna look up is ICT kill zones. And we're gonna select ICT kill zones, Lux Algo, I have it selected here, and then it's gonna pop up in the top left corner here, and you're going to enable it. And so what it's gonna do is give you a lot of different things. I encourage you to do is open the settings tab here. I have the indicator on my chart. I encourage you to follow my settings because it just removes a bunch of clutter and things you don't need. These are my settings for EST. I have my time zone set to UTC -5, which is currently EST. I'll just scroll for a second here, allow you to get a couple screenshots. These are my settings, very simplistic. I do use this indicator, it's useful. What it represents is different session highs and lows. So we have all the data here. And once again, here are our time frames. I just have them selected in my favorites. You can favorite different time frames. I'm not sure how many you can favorite on the free version. Probably as many as you want. But let's go to the 5-minute time frame, for example. So what I have marked out in light blue is the New York PM session. So when the stock market opens in the morning at 9:30 a.m. EST, it goes on until 4 p.m. EST and then closes. There are important times there to look at. So the first is actually going to be 8:30 up until 11. That is prime time to trade. The first hour before the market opens also has volatility and also usually has big moves. The market's getting prepared to open, it's pre-market, and it's also part of what we call the kill zone. So the first hour before the market opens up until 11 a.m. EST, this is the time frame in which I trade. That 2.5 hour period, that is my strict rule set. This is what I trade. That's why I don't have it marked in a big color, because I don't want to be staring at anything other than a white background for too long. I just have these lines to represent the highs and lows and how long it was. We mark out the PM session from 1:30 to 4. This is a key area. In between here is not really a time you want to trade. Ideally, you want to trade this 2.5-hour period, and if you will trade again, you wait until PM session. Time in between is usually bad price action, which just means unfavorable conditions for traders like us. So here, if we look at another time in the day, we have Asia session marked in red and the London session marked in yellow. There also is a Australian session, but we don't use it traditionally. You really want to focus on London session and New York session. Asia session is sometimes useful. Asia session really does not move that much, usually. Usually London will move a lot more than it, and usually New York way more than both of them. If I draw a rectangle marking out this New York session, look at how it compares to London session, Asia session, and London session here. That's a big difference. That's why we trade New York session. More volatility potentially means more money if traded correctly. Understanding the highs and the lows of these different sessions is going to be very useful in our trading, and just understanding how the other sessions of the world, so financial sectors in London and in Asia and all these different countries, have different influences on the market, and it's important for us to understand them. And in the next video, where we start with technical analysis, we're going to go over briefly why we care. But the truth is, this is all you need on your chart. You've probably seen plenty of images like this one or this one with charts with tons of indicators. That's what they're called, all the waves and all the lines. You don't need any of that. All you need to be profitable and to make money is knowledge, discipline, and a chart that looks like this. You don't even need this. To be honest, I traded for well over a year profitably without knowing when the other sessions were in the market. So keep your chart simple, customize the colors if you want, get it to your liking, and join me in the next video where we talk about technical analysis and how we're actually going to read this chart to make predictions of where the market might go. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.